WWE 2K24 looks completely half-assed. What do I mean by that? I'm going to get into that in this video. But what does half-assed mean? It means, ever hear of not going to do something right? Don't bother. Okay, I'm being seriously hyperbolic here. I think the WWE games are fun. I've been playing them for 20 years. You know, here comes the pain. I remember getting SmackDown vs. Raw, like 2004. It wasn't called that, at Blockbuster. Like, buying it in 2005. Like, I've been playing the game for a long time. And I'm doing this video to make people see that 2K24 might be the best wrestling game in a long time that's come around. But I'm going to explain aspects where 2K falls short and where they half-ass their game. Okay, so I'm going to go over some footage, some gameplay footage that I've seen and read from the new 2K game that's coming out in March. We've all seen the footage of 2K24. It looks very similar to 2K23, but on a lot of aspects looks improved. The game is releasing in March, like I've said before, and I just don't want another WWE2K game. I want a game that is epic. So let's talk about it. The 2K community, you know, the ones who get invited, you know, they're not going to invite some guy in Australia who doesn't have 1,000 subs. They're not going to invite me. But the 2K community did get invited to play a preview build of WWE2K24. There's countless videos on YouTube about it, you know, on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, talking about the new features, the new match types. This video is going to point out why I'm a little hesitant on the game and what I'm excited for 2K24. Now let's get into this. So there's been a lot of footage of backstage arena. We've seen a lot of different versions of that over the years in the 2K games and the THQ games. And sometimes they get really good and then they completely remove them out, bring them back in, remove them out. You know what I mean? But I've seen a lot of footage. I've seen like the elevator being included in the game. That's a bit of a nice touch. In the footage I saw, like, the hair physics still suck. But with a backstage area, you want a lot of interaction and a lot of fun interaction. You don't want it to be difficult to set up spots and to do cool things. Like, I want to jump off the damn trailer. I want to, you know, smash a guy through a window and it not feel complicated and hard. You know, games like Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain, you know, pioneers of the backstage arena. You know, people still play that to this day. That's how great the backstage arenas were. I just want to do fun things. Like, that's the really important word, you know, F-U-N, things to do backstage, and I don't want it to be restrictive, okay? And the footage I've seen, like, I think it's been improved on. The next thing I want to touch on is the new stage camera angle. I've heard so much buzz about, and this was in Here Comes the Pain 20 years ago. I also want to mention, for the Royal Rumble, it makes zero sense, literally zero, not to have ramp angles for the entries. 70% of the Rumble's intrigue is the entrances. I've seen this be praised online, and it shouldn't be that praised. It should never have left the game in the first place. It's weird, now isn't it weird, that 2K removed this in the first place with WWE 2K14, 2K's first wrestling game. They're the ones who removed the ramp. Like, angle entrance for no reason. I have no idea why. It's completely not like the Royal Rumble is still fun to play in the games, and they've improved it a lot. Like, back in the day, you know, it was really fast to eliminate people. It's really cool what they've done, but not having where you can see the entrances for each entrant was a terrible decision, and it's been in the game for nearly 10 years, but I'm glad they've introduced the new camera angles that I've been seeing. It's pretty cool. I just don't think it should be getting complete praise because it should have been in there. Like, they should have never have taken it out. And I've looked at some of the entrances, and they're kind of about the freaking same. Like LA Knight's entrance is the same, except they say yeah properly with the fans, and Roman Reigns' entrance is the same. Like, I know there hasn't been a lot of superstar entrances released yet because it's a pre-build of the game, but I kind of see a similar trend happening, and I just think that's a little bit lazy not to include, you know, more entrances or update the entrances. Like, speaking of the Royal Rumble, when I was talking about the entrances and how you should have a camera pointing at the actual ramp and the entranceway, SmackDown vs. Raw, a game people say is crap, which is ridiculous. It was an awesome game. It introduced a lot of awesome things, cool things, and they introduced specific character entrances. Top of my head, I'm thinking Batista did the guns, Rey Mysterio, Jericho, Big Show, Undertaker, all had pyro coming down the aisle. Like, how cool is that? And they had unique walking animations. The footage I've seen from like a women's Royal Rumble, they all run the exact same way and enter the ring the same way. That's lazy development. Like, I'm not a game developer. I'm just some dude in Australia, but I play these games, and that's a small detail that was completely missed. Like, it's great the ramp angle's there, but come on, like, if you can fix that before the game releases, I just think it's really lazy to have everybody look the exact same coming out. And just a side note, the most expensive version of the game in Australia is $180. Are you serious? That is way too much. You know, I love Cody Rhodes as much as the next guy, but the DLC is kind of crap. Superstar Billy Graham, Dusty Rhodes, Stardust, Stardust baby. Yikes. That's not worth it to me. You know, it was a little hesitant last year. I did buy the most expensive version, where you got the, retro versions of Brock, John Cena, Randy, and looking back, like, that wasn't worth it. I think you should probably look to get either the default version of the game or the second highest. Don't go for the largest. Like, Rey Mysterio's headdress isn't worth it. Alright, and yeah, there's a couple of versions of other people's attires, like Charlotte's WrestleMania 35, I don't know, someone's attires there. But moving on, from that, going over some other stuff I've seen. Yeah, entrances, hasn't been touched, only minor tweaks. Just put a little bit more effort in. I would like that. And I'm not saying the devs don't work hard, but they need to focus on a few areas than build modes later on. I'm thinking back from 2K17, they completely got rid of showcase mode, or it was career mode. They got rid of a mode that was pretty popular at the time, so they could focus more on the gameplay, and it did actually help the game. But then looking back at it, it was a bit bare bones, and like, I don't know how well it sold. But I just want to talk about My Rise and My Faction for a little bit. I think those modes are a complete waste of time. I don't even touch them. Like, the My Faction one, they force you by putting the button prompt when you're in this menu and you accidentally go in there. What a crappy mode. It's a grind fest, and they just want people to pay for it. Like, that's not cool. Like, you should be focused on the modes that people actually play. And I'm going to keep it simple. Instead of a career mode that is really cringe and basic. Like, I know Road to WrestleMania was a bit cringe too. But, go crazy with it. Back in the day in SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 when they introduced it. You remember the Masked Man? Or Tony? Like, absolute iconic characters. We need more of that. But Road to WrestleMania, I think it's just better than a career mode. And some easy choices I'd pick. Some wrestlers in a tag team right now, I'll do it. Top of my head. I'm snapping a lot. Firstly, I'd choose a custom superstar. And then you face the Bloodline. Is that Matt Riddle's faction? The Bloodline, and win. So you just create, sort of back in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, where you could face against Santino, if I remember correctly. You could also have Randy Orton trying to get a world title one last time. I think that'd be a cool road to WrestleMania. Have Rhea Ripley, Carmelo Hayes, or some other NXT people, and Sami Zayn, just for that underdog story. And for a tag team, back at the OG days of Batista and Rey Mysterio, you have the Judgment Day. So you have Priest and Finn Balor, and they dominate, Raw and SmackDown as, the tag champs. But then you have them build dissension, and the Judgment Day breaks up, thinking, what game I think? SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, when you had Legacy break up, predating before they actually broke up. Just something like that. It's a bit more creative, and the career mode, it's so freaking boring. I know they had something to do with Evolution, and no, I don't even want to touch it. And it has way more replayability doing a Road to WrestleMania. You know, you don't have to do a backstage thing. You could just leave that out. But yeah, I would prefer a Road to WrestleMania over just a default career mode. And I just want to get into showcase mode. It pretty much, if you don't know what showcase mode is, I did a video, you know, pretty much predicting what the matches are going to be. I'm pretty close to what they are, I think. We'll see in March. But showcase mode, it's pretty much a bunch of matches with a specific theme behind it. And in recent years, a narration. So you've had John Cena and Daniel Bryan do it in the past. Rey Mysterio, you know, in 22. Cena did a great job last year. I did like the showcase, but it's missing things. Like this, what I went at the start of the video, it's half-assed. There's no entrances. There's no commentary. Where the hell is the commentary, man? Like, I know you're not going to have... Who did, like... Cena's matches and like the ECW One Night Stand. You're not going to have Joey Styles and Taz call the damn match, but you could just have Michael Cole and friggin' Saxton do it, or Graves. It wouldn't be that hard, just to do a little bit of commentary, and it adds to the match. Like, just having a match with some weird little song going on. I don't know why they chose the way they do that. And some of the match choices, because you can't have every superstar that's ever been, because they're either in AEW or retired or did something bad. You know, I'm thinking back to the Rey's showcase. He had Rey Mysterio vs Grand Metalik. Like, no disrespect to the guy, but really, like, from a Raw match in 2018 or like, no one wants to play that. And that's not what they need to be doing. 2K15 had the best showcase mode. That's the first one they did, and they even had DLC for the showcase mode. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Again, that was the best part about 2K15, was the showcase mode. I think just go back to that. You had it nearly 10 years ago, just go back. And it's great that 2K24 has introduced the new match types. And I love seeing that you can throw weapons at superstars, and that super finisher that I've been seeing, like the Undertaker's and Rhea Ripley's, the Riptide from the top rope. That's cool. That's really, you know, going to something different and innovative, if that's even the right word. But it's a great addition. They've also added a casket match, which we haven't seen since like the showcase mode in 2K15. But that wasn't really a match. Like, it was in the old SmackDown Know Your Role games. They're finally bringing back special guest referee, which is a great thing. And they even have that you can have a custom ref, and they got Little Nation there, and they actually use proper official referees, which is a great touch. And I'm really excited about the Gauntlet match. And it's very, like, you know, I love the Gauntlet match. Like, every time WWE dusts it off, you know, it's pretty iconic. Thinking about, you know, Seth Rollins having that great Gauntlet match years ago. You know, I've wanted to do it in a game, but yeah, they just haven't had it since, like, WWF Attitude. If you ever played that. And they also included ambulance match. Like, that's... Like, I didn't even think they could do that. But they got it. And it adds more fun to the game and just, you know, more replayability with friends. But, you know, they should be always introducing new match types and features every year. And I'll give 2K massive props and a big thumbs up. But for a suggestion, 2K, it's a video game. You can make your own matches. They should go completely caution to the wind, go crazy, have matches where you have a steel cage and a ladder match combined. Like, wouldn't that be sick? You have a ladder match, tables, and a cage. Like, where is that? Like, I was doing that with my action figures. Or you have a Royal Rumble, and when you get eliminated, you land into water or lava. Like, do something crazy. Like, it doesn't have to be completely realistic and simulation based, because it's not even that realistic, because they're doing parries and trying to block punches. They never really do that. Like, they never put two hands up to block. That's ridiculous. Like, this isn't the UFC, man. But, you know, just not going on a tangent there. Like, they try to treat it more like a fighting game. Like, wrestling isn't fighting. But, God, the Australian accent came out there. Fighting! But GM mode made a return in WWE2K24, and I wanted it for years. You know, I loved it back in the day. You know, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, 06, 08. Great GM modes, you know, but looking back, they were a little bare bones as well. At least they had trades the first year. 2K23 greatly improved it, but it's still missing items that make it a great GM mode. On 2K's website, they announced that trades will be introduced in GM mode. That's another great change, but that should have been in 2K22. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, they half-assed. Like, don't even have it GM mode without trades, because you need that. But I did like the changes they made in 23, and, like, hopefully they'll just keep, you know, building onto that. And go on to universe mode now. This is a mode where the game gets played the most. There's no doubt about that. And it feels so dang limited currently. This has to change. Like, you go into the mode, you make one adjustment to your show, the whole thing glitches, or worse, crashes. Like, I'm just trying to be creative and have some match types. I completely gave up on the universe mode because it's so limited, and you make one change and then there's like 8 Bobby Lashley's happening, and there's like a random Rikishi who's like not even selected to be in the universe mode. You know, I just make it less limiting and user friendly on the menu screen. Like WWE 12 had it right with the user friendliness, and just make it a better experience overall, please. So my point at the start of the video is that WWE2K24 will be half-assed. I don't necessarily think that's a true 100% statement. I think in aspects they still will half-ass. But I have brought up some great and positive things going forward for the 2K franchise. But this game, like, I haven't played it. Okay, like I said before, I haven't been invited to anything. Like, I'm an Australian YouTuber who does like wrestling videos. Like, I didn't get invited to play test the game. But this game definitely needs a 2-year development cycle. Every year is way too soon, and they should be just coming out with updates. Like, a new superstar debuts, put them in the game, you know, scan and put them in. And when the next March comes around, like, I'm talking 2025, do not release a new game. Just do, like, packs. Include WrestleMania 41 and attires, and just charge $20 for it. Like, I feel like you'd get more out of that than releasing a new game and just releasing little tiny things each year. Like, you need a big step improvement. Like, it makes the game seem way better. Because you watch 2K20 and then you go to 2K22. 2K22 seems like the best wrestling game ever, and it really wasn't. But compared to like the crap 2K20, it does. And the problem with yearly releases, you do get half-assed career mode, half-assed showcase, universe, GM mode, half-assed entrances in superstar models. Like, Bailey, what the hell is that freaking model, man? That looks terrible. Like, some people look really good, and they put a lot of effort into them, but and the ones with hair, like, come on. But please, 2K, I'm begging you, I'm begging the 2K gods. I know you can release a perfect wrestling game. You had that with 2K14. That game is legendary. I have a feeling the game this year will be another step up from the last couple of years, but just think about how much better it would be with a 2-year development cycle. I just wanted to add, I will buy this game, and I will do an in-depth review of the game when it's released, and I'll be uploading GM mode and universe mode, you know, and talking about everything, and probably uploading some entrances. And I really hope 2K24 isn't half-assed. And if you watch the whole thing, let me know in the comments what you're excited for, what you're a little bit nervous about for 2K24, and yeah, subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you next time.